We're the only town that's doing this.
Now on News 12, a Rockland County town goes on the offensive to help prevent anti-Semitic attacks.
Just a small inconvenience, but it does, you know, you do recognize you take things for granted, and, you know, having clean water obviously is critical.
Plus, it's been days since one local community had clean drinking water after a fuel leak contaminated the reservoir. We'll have the latest on the cleanup efforts.
It's been a process. It's been a lot of money. It's been a lot of time. It's just, you know, it's a never-ending circle.
And yet the fight continues to get this third grader back into school after 2 districts refused to accept her. And that is where we begin tonight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Scott McGee.
I'm Macy Eglin. Thanks for joining us. That student has not been to class since December, and now her mom is turning to News 12, hoping her daughter can finally return to school.
Now, News 12's Nadia Galindo brings us the story you'll see only on 12.
This green one is ELA.
Sophia should be unpacking her backpack at school.
I have my Journeys notebook.
But instead, the third grader is stuck at home and has been for 3 weeks.
A bit upsetting to me because I haven't been seeing my friends lately.
Her Valentine cards won't be delivered to classmates this year.
We have 2 alien ones for the boys.
Her mom, Melissa Pignatelli, says it's all because Port Chester Public Schools kicked her out last month, concluding Sophia doesn't live in district and should enroll instead at the Harrison Central School District.
She's been in Port Chester her whole life.
Pignatelli claims she and her 2 children live with her mom blocks from her daughter's now former school.
This is basically the package that we were sent.
But this stack of papers show the great lengths the district went to prove otherwise.
You're taking close-ups of my daughter getting candy on Halloween.
These photos snapped unknowingly as Pignatelli and her daughters left her ex's apartment in Harrison on multiple occasions.
I was horrified.
Pignatelli says it takes a village to raise children.
Let's put your back in your cubby.
Although her ex is not Sophia's biological father, he has helped her maintain 2 jobs.
Apparently that's what this all stems from, is that she spends too much time at his house.
The Port Chester superintendent says Pignatelli has the right to appeal the district's decision. And that is what Pignatelli is now doing. She says her first appeal was denied. She is now in the process of filing a second appeal in hopes that this issue will be resolved. Reporting in Port Chester, Nadia Galindo, News 12.
Thank you, Nadia. Pignatelli did try and enroll her daughter in the Harrison Central School District, but was denied enrollment, the district telling her her daughter belongs in Port Chester. Well, new tonight, a teenager shot on Garden Street in the city of Poughkeepsie, and now police are searching for the shooter. This happened just around 1 o'clock this morning. First responders found the 16-year-old shot in the arm and took him to the hospital. He is in serious condition, but his injuries are not life-threatening. Anyone with information on this shooting is asked to call City of Poughkeepsie detectives. The number's on your screen here, 845-451-7577.
Well, 1 year after a man survived being shot multiple times in Ossining, his attacker has now pleaded guilty. Mario Mielis admitted to attempted murder. He fired 9 shots at that victim, hitting him at least 3 times and caused permanent life-altering injuries. This happened last February outside the Cortland Ridge housing complex on Van Cortlandt Street. Officials say the 2 do know each other. Mielis expected to be sentenced in April.
Well, the body of an elderly man found at a park in Westchester by a man who was walking his dog. Officials say the body of an 80-year-old New York City man was found yesterday morning in the woods at Wilson's Woods Park in Mount Vernon. Police say there were no visible signs of trauma. The county medical examiner is now working to determine the cause of death. The man's name has not been released. Police are still notifying his family. We are learning more tonight about the Bronx man killed on the job in New Rochelle. Officials say the victim was 26-year-old Alejandro Manuel Paliza. He was electrocuted yesterday afternoon at a construction site on Union Avenue. We're told he accidentally struck high-voltage wires while working in a cherry picker. He was working for a Bronx construction company at the time, which had no comment. OSHA and the city's buildings department are now investigating.
And new tonight, a man from the state of Florida has just been extradited back to our area, accused of raping a child. Investigators say Edwin Rodriguez sexually abused the victim, who was under the age of 13. The The 35-year-old now being held at the Orange County Jail on several felony charges, including predatory sexual assault and rape.
Following a spike in anti-Semitic attacks in the Hudson Valley and really across the nation, one local town is now taking action. News 12's Sarah Tolan shows us what's being done in Clarkstown to prevent these hate-fueled crimes.
St. Augustine's Check Secure.
They're called Clarkstown Cares,
And you got this.
a team of local law enforcement that forms the town's cultural and religious security unit. The only one of its kind in the Hudson Valley, Clarkstown Cares helps improve security at the town's 50 cultural institutions and houses of worship. And on Thursday, News 12 went along for the ride.
Welcome to Clarkstown Police Radio.
We offer a variety of services to help them meet their goals, securing their people that go there. And we do that in large part by providing security surveys, by providing emergency plans, by offering them active shooter and stop the bleed training.
So right now, if something happens, we could send out one email blast to all clergy members, giving them an answer.
Clarkstown Chief Ray McCullough says the town formed the security unit in October 2018 after a shooting at a synagogue in Pittsburgh killed 11. The unit, funded by the town, isn't cheap, but McCullough says it's helped overhaul the safety of dozens of local churches, synagogues, and mosques.
So it's really been even way better than I dreamed.
And demand for the security unit has only increased since 6 people were stabbed at a rabbi's home in Muncie this Hanukkah. Religious meetings like that, taking place in people's homes, makes Clarkstown Cares that much more critical, town officials say.
God forbid, if there is an incident that takes place, we want to be right there. And we want to make sure that we know exactly the layouts of the buildings, that we've worked with their individuals so that if they've got security in place, that they know the procedures, the protocol.
In Clarkstown, Sarah Toland, News 12.
All right, another case of the coronavirus has now been reported in the U.S. Officials in Texas confirming that an evacuee from China is under quarantine right now in San Antonio. That patient had been flown to a nearby Air Force base last week. It's now the 15th confirmed case of the coronavirus in the U.S. Meanwhile, in Japan, the health ministry says a woman infected with the virus has died. That is Japan's first confirmed fatality. It now has 247 confirmed cases, although 219 are on a cruise ship quarantined at the port of Yokohama near Tokyo. By the way, organizers for the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo say there are no plans to cancel that event over coronavirus concerns. The game's scheduled to take place from July 24th to August 9th.
Well, shoppers at a busy mall in White Plains treated today to a surprise performance by circus royalty. Eighth-generation performer Kathy Hannaford and her husband Carlos led an impromptu show right inside the food court at the Galleria. The husband and wife team, along with their parents, siblings, and 2-year-old son, run one of the last traveling circuses in America, the Royal Hannaford Circus. No longer able to perform with elephants, the couple said they're now stepping into the new age of circus with a collection of some bold new acts.
First half, we have a whole 20-minute production, which is a whole Arabian Nights type thing, and the camels come out. The girls are actually riding the camels.
Then we have some aerial going on at the same time.
You can catch the Royal Hannaford Circus all this weekend and through President's Day at the Westchester County Center in White Plains. If you'd like ticket information, head to our website, news12.com. Turning now to your forecast, a really just gray day out there, very rainy, but we've got a weekend coming up, a long weekend for some. Here's meteorologist Steve Teeling with the details on that. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Macy. Yeah, it was a terrible day in terms of the rain and the clouds and the dreariness of the day, but skies are clearing tonight, and it's actually going to be very sunny the next couple of days, although temperatures are going to be plummeting to feel more like February rather than the spring-like temps that they have been. Now, none of this bothers Thunderbolt 12. He was out and about last night in that little bit of a wintry mix. He was out in the rain today and basically just waiting for some rough weather to drive on through. Obviously, Thunderbolt 12 looking good out there, and if he rolls into your neighborhood, give us a wave and a hello if you would, please. Satellite and radar, we are looking at those clouds thinning out. They will clear out later on tonight. Any snow that you see up to our north and west, first of all, that will fall apart before it gets here, although it may hold together and clip parts of Ulster County sunny and maybe a flurry elsewhere, but I'm really not anticipating much in the way of any problems with any of that headed our way. We're still not bad temperature-wise. Remember, we should be in the upper 30s for average highs, and right now we're at 43 in Yonkers, 41 in Mamaroneck, 38 in Walton Lake, Putnam Valley also at 38 degrees. We're close to 40 in Warwick, dropping down into the mid-30s up in New Paltz, and still holding on to 40 in Vales Gate. But as mentioned, later tonight into tomorrow morning, that's when that flood of colder air will be coming on through. So the forecast then calls for skies to pretty much clear out. It'll be turning brisk and colder by morning. Look at this low, 28. That's in our southern zones, probably closer to 20, 22 degrees up to the north. Northwest winds will make it feel even colder. Then tomorrow, a mostly sunny day, a couple of fair weather clouds, but it'll be brisk and cold. Don't let that high of 32 fool you. That's in our southern areas, probably not out of the 20s further north. And with these winds northwesterly at 10 to 20 miles an hour with a few higher gusts, that'll make it feel more like the single numbers and teens at times during the day. So that is what you should dress for. How long will this cold snap last? Well, we'll talk about that with your full Hyperlocal 7-Day in just a few minutes. Scott and Macy, back to you.
What a week it has been.
No kidding.
Just enjoy this.
Yeah,
this is nice.
It is.
We'll take that. All right, still to come on News 12.
There's growing concerns about people driving the wrong way on our roadways following the double fatal in Harrison on I-287. We'll tell you what the county is doing to make sure it doesn't happen again.
That and much more local news, plus your forecast on News 12, where local matters.